What's going on, Japsters? This is your boy SYNTELL with the Intel. Have you ever had this ringing that's stuck in your ears? Well, the MCU is experiencing it and its fans don't know how to make it stop. That's right, today we're talking about the 10 rings and just who they may be reaching out to. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscription button, click the bell icon for up-to-date news breaks, and give us a well-placed thumbs up. Let's get started. At the end of Shang-Chi, we see a small council of superheroes having a quick chat about the ramifications of the 10 rings present in the Marvel Universe. Wong pulls up his magical database and shows us the inner workings of the 10 rings. He says that the rings don't match anything from his codex, which is a big thing considering all of the ancient information that the masters of the mystic arts possess. Wong's mystic Googling is not to be scoffed at. Both Bruce and Carol say they have no idea what's up with the rings, but they do know what they are not, and that is vibranium or Chitauri tech. The short and the simple, the rings came from someplace else, far away and alien enough that even Captain Marvel doesn't recognize the material. But Banner did have one piece of scientific advice. He noted that the rings are pretty old. Wong, who, by the way, is really starting to become more and more of a joy to see with his cameos, he adds that when Shang used the rings for the first time, it was felt on Kamar Taj. Now, he may not know where the rings come from, but he does respect the fact that the ring's energy is powerful enough to be noticed by the masters of all the mystic arts. This was the E.T. phone home moment because the signal rang out as if it was some type of beacon sending a message to some unknown source. Curiously, the movie Shang-Chi never explains where the rings came from. Wenwu sort of stumbled upon them and used them to discover his inner conqueror of civilizations for the next 1,000 years. I find this morbidly funny. Wenwu was kicking ass all over the countryside, spilling all types of blood in countless ways, but the rings never considered any of that madness to be a threat. Wenwu might as well have been killing ants with a magnifying glass as far as cosmic justice is concerned. Wenwu did tell us the rings are connected to some other force out in the universe or probably the multiverse. So what exactly are the rings? The MCU changed a lot about the rings, not just the fact that they're pretty much bracelets, but also their powers. In the comics, each ring has its own unique ability, but in the MCU, the rings don't really operate separately. They simply level up their wearer with energy. I'm willing to bet the rings can do a lot more than what we've already seen. I guess making another piece of armor with multiple properties could get really old, so they skipped over all the gathering of the bands and just gave us the default settings. In the comics, the Mandarin's rings are actually a MacLeod technology, and the MacLeods are a race of shape-shifting dragon aliens. I'm hoping the MCU doesn't go to the route of bringing back another set of dragons. If you're willing to overlook the redundancy of individually powered jewelry made in his sets, then you might as well cut to the chase with dragon aliens as well. Queen of all that is Kung Fu awesome, Ying Nan kept referring to this dimension as your universe, meaning the people of Tao Lo and the Protector Dragon came from someplace else. Some other universe in the multiverse, maybe the rings arrived from another dimension. So this makes the rings interdimensional artifacts that could possibly draw their energy from other dimensions. This isn't as far-fetched as you may think. There is some basis in the comics for this. There are some heroes who draw their powers from different universes that are out in the multiverse. There's Wanda, who's confirmed to be able to travel through the multiverse with her magic, so Shang-Chi could tie into that. Since Shang-Chi deals with other dimensions and some magic, it's possible that the rings are some form of magical artifacts, but they could still be pieces of technology as well. Remember when Thor tells Jane where he comes from, both magic and technology are the same, but they're so advanced and ancient that it seems like magic. Maybe the 10 rings are the MCU versions of another artifact from the comics, and that's the quantum bands. The quantum bands are unique energy manipulating devices of incredible power that the cosmic being Ian awarded to those beings that it appointed to be protectors of the universe. The bands served as both instruments of power and symbols of the stations of the protectors. Although some texts claim that Eon created them, the exact origin of the quantum bands has never been revealed, so it's possible that Eon actually acquired them from some unknown source. Both bands have immense cosmic power and allow energy manipulation. We saw Shang getting down in the movies and doing otherworldly moves. They grant the wearer all kinds of other useful abilities. Also, the quantum bands require worthiness, like Thor's hammer, to use its absolute power. The wearer must have peaceful intentions just like Shang-Chi. While others can wear the bands, if they're not worthy, they won't be able to unlock the band's true power. Wenwu had the rings for hundreds of years. However, they finally unlocked their full potential once Shang used them, making him worthy. Plus, the bands are worn on the wrist, just like the rings are in the movie. There's also another runner-up in the super band category. We also need to mention the Nega Bands, which are very similar to the quantum bands, but they are not as powerful. The Nega Bands are sort of a flea market Creed knockoff of the quantum bands. Many different heroes have worn these bands, but the most notable of them all is Captain Marvel. the original Captain Marvel. Being the protector of the universe is a big deal, and it might be the direction the MCU is going for with Shang-Chi. Shang is a descendant from the protectors of Tao Lo, so that duty could extend to other realities and dimensions. So what could have happened with the rings? They were created eons ago by some powerful cosmic entity, either in the main MCU universe or in another dimension. That cosmic being chose as protector. However, at some point, the rings ended up on Earth. The previous owner probably caught an L, and good old Wenwu found his cosmic lottery ticket. Unfortunately for him, he never unlocked their true power since he wasn't worthy. It's not like it really mattered though, since Wenwu put the whole world in a 10-ring headlock for over 1,000 years. Shang was built differently. He was chosen by some kind of cosmic law. Now he's the one who's able to wield the rings. His pimp hand was a lot stronger than his father's. It's like once he used them, game recognized game, and the rings changed their energy to the golden glow. He unlocks the ring's full power, but he also activated the beacon to inform whatever cosmic power out there that a true champion has been chosen. Or so we think. So if we stick to the idea that the rings are the MCU version of the quantum bands, there are interesting perks that come with the quantum bands. 1. The quantum bands enable their wearer to fly within an atmosphere or through space. The wearer can also quantum jump by opening a wormhole in space-time, allowing them to travel vast distances. They can also open portals into the quantum zone to achieve similar effects. 2. The bands draw their power from the quantum zone, which is the quantum realm in the MCU. See, now this is an interesting connection with the quantum realm playing such a big role in the MCU in recent years. 3. It's bound to have a major connection to Kang the Conqueror, since we've already seen a hidden city in the quantum realm, which is probably Chronopolis, Kang's realm. The quantum realm might be how all the Kangs jumpstart the multiversal war. This is probably the MCU's next mega crossover event, which could be, drumroll please, Secret Wars. Michael Douglas, the actor who recently reprised his role as Hank Pym in Ant-Man and the Wasp, has reiterated that the quantum realm will play a huge role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean all of them. I mean the quantum realm. That's the key he said to On Air with Ryan Seacrest. If the ring's energy is connected to the quantum realm, like the quantum bands, that made Shang-Chi one of the most important superheroes going into the potential Secret Wars. Theory number 1. What if the 10 rings were actually created by the biggest beings in the universe? The Celestials. The Celestials have their cosmic hands into everything in the universe, but despite their power, they appointed the Eternals to protect Earth from the Deviants. The rings could be messaging the Celestials, not necessarily as a warning, but maybe as an announcement to its creators that the rings have been reactivated and a new protector has been found. Theory number 2. Marvel could also take some ideas from the Celestials from Earth 10, and in that alternate universe, the Celestials reproduce by impregnating planets with their essence. I know, right? Which is how the Celestials are born. This means devastation for the pregnant planet when the Celestial egg hatches. If the Celestials are allowed to breed unchecked, they would overpopulate the universe, which would lead to the collapse of said universe. A population control is created in the form of Galactus. Galactus keeps the Celestials' population under control as he feeds on the planets the Celestials sort of impregnated. Galactus has power cosmic, which is one of the most powerful energies in the universe. Galactus also creates heralds who seek out planets for him to feed on, like the Silver Surfer, who is also imbued with the power cosmic. So it's possible that the rings are created by Galactus and the beacon is to message him that the Earth has been impregnated by the Celestials, which doesn't really bode well for the Earth either way. Either the world is going to hatch into a celestial baby, or Galactus is going to eat it. Pick your poison. Theory number 3. Thor told the Avengers that Fury's work with the Tesseract signaled to all the realms that Earth is ready for a higher form of war. This beacon could be summoning somebody Doctor Strange and Wong will face in the Multiverse of Madness. Many have speculated Shuma-Gorath, or some other Elder God. The fact that these same interdimensional tentacle monsters just made a second appearance in What If is a pretty strong case that we haven't seen the last of these monsters. Perhaps creatures like the Dweller in Darkness in Shang-Chi, Dormammu, who Strange outsmarted in his first movie, Alioth and Loki were just the appetizers for a much larger play of problems. Now that these appetizers have been slayed and the walls have been shaken, even more dangerous intergalactic killers from the beyond have arrived. Let's not forget the Scarlet Witch. Peter Parker and Loki's reality mishaps in the MCU may have given the green light to every other worldly and outer dimensional being in the multiverse. Earth might as well be serving up plates for an intergalactic all-you-can-eat buffet. Whatever it was that was signal has now been notified that these rings were used to kill a predator that should not have been in this realm. We are fighting way out of our weight class. I'm sure the possibility of the Sinister Six dropping in for a few hours of mischief isn't helping Earth's cause either. Many speculate that all of these cosmic events could have happened at the exact same time, triggering a much larger signal that could also coincide with the Rings beacon as well. It cannot be overlooked just how huge of a cosmic clusterfuck the Earth may be in. These combined beacons could be a course for any alternate universe that might be able to hear the signal that our reality is about to be overrun by predators that we are not equipped to handle. The Dweller of Darkness just freed itself and the 10 Rings dropped some hard, cold justice on them. Somebody has to know the big guns are being used. The beacon may also be an interdimensional warning sign to tell everybody to avoid this place at all costs. All hell is breaking loose here. Stay away. And who do you think could be on the other side of that call? Think about it. Who are the biggest experts who we are expecting to come into the MCU very soon? Who are the pros on this subject matter? Paging Dr. Reed. Paging Dr. Reed. The Fantastic Four. And wherever the Fantastic Four resides, Dr. Doom isn't far behind. This could be a wonderful opportunity for other transdimensional networks, like the Council of Kings as well. We may not know exactly who the Rings may be calling out, but we can almost be certain that somebody or something is going to answer. Okay, I'm officially done breaking your brain. That's the scoop for the day. Thank you for hanging out. And make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to receive up-to-the-minute updates. There's also a nifty little thumbs up button that you can hit as well. This is SYNTELL with the Intel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.